computer. Well, I have discussed with you the whole scenario, and we are going to apply the serial mediation analysis. I have told you the basics, how we can analyze the situation, like when we have a number of mediators and we want to connect the mediators for the purpose of better explaining our impact of independent variable on the dependent variables. And so when we are basically want to compare or we want to basically analyze a cumulative effect of mediators on our dependent variables for the sake of explaining the impact of mediator in a more better way, we can use this situations. So how we can apply all these things using process by Hayes? You need to go to the analyze button, then you need to select regression, then you need to select process by entry of Hayes, and you will find the following. You need to put your dependent variable in y variable, you need to put your independent variable in x variable, you need to put your mediators, and you need to select model number 6 over here, because this whole process requires model number 6 to apply over here. Then you need to select some of the options from here, like generate code for visualizing interaction, because the moderating process is not involved here. So you need to select a no centering. I need to mute all. All right. You need to click on 16, 15, and 84 percentile as a conditioning values because moderation is not here. You need to uncheck Johnson-Neyman output, and then you need to click continue button. And then you will find the results. So I need to apply it over here because I do not have included its screenshot. So what to do? You need to go to the analyze regression process by Hayes. You need to put your y variable, you need to put your x variable, and our you can say our mediators are OS and FS. OS and FS, OS and FS. Yes, they are already here. We need to have only mediators in our model, and we need to apply model number 6 from here. So you can verify this. We have done, yes, we have done it correctly. We have recorded model number 6 from here. We have included our mediators. Now we have to select a number of options from here. You can see from the option side, as we are not using any moderating variable over here, so we need to select no centering from here, and we are not using moderating, so we need to uncheck Johnson-Neyman. We need to check the 16, 15, then 84 percentile, then we need to select continue, then we need to select OK because model number 6 is here. So we need to select OK button, and we need to wait for the results to process over here. So just wait for the results, it will appear here. So we need to verify a number of things from the results, like how the relationship is developed. Like I have told you that your STT will impact OS, your STT will impact FS, your OS will impact your PS, your FSL will impact your PS, and your STT will impact your PS. So you need to see the results of each one, and you need to see the mediation or serial mediation result also. So you can see over here. You can see over here how these results are indicating. Your dependent variable is Y, your independent variable is SDT, Your mediator is OS, your second mediator is FS. So you have two mediators actually. Your sample is 456. It means 456 observation were used. Your outcome variable is OS for the first relationship. If you can see here, your first impact was on OS. So OS was the outcome of your first impact, and you will find out the A1 value here. So you can see the impact of SGT is positive and it is significant. It is highly significant, and the model is statistically fit, and you can see the R square, which is 74.32. It means 74.32% variation in the OS is basically explained by SGT. So this is the first thing you have discovered from here. Then you go to the FS. If you see your model, you can see that the second impact or A2 impact was from SGT to FS. So you can see this in your model. So OS and SGT both are impacting FS. OS and SGT. You can see over here OS is also impacting FS while SGT is also impacting FS. So both are impacting FS. So you will see both impact over here. SGT is positively impacting FS with a highly significant value, and OS is also impacting positively with a high significant value. And you can see the R square. It means FS, the variance in FS is 80.62% explained by SGT and OS. So the model is statistically fit. Then at the next, you see the PS as a dependent variable. You can see that PS is influenced by FS, PS is influenced by SGT, PS is influenced by OS. And you can also see that PS is combinedly influenced by OSFS. So you can see the results over here. So PS is influenced by SGT, PS is influenced by OS, PS is influenced by FS, while the combined effect will be shown directly in indirect effect. So first we need to interpret this table. You can see the SGT with the coefficient value of 0.4158. It is indicating that SGT is positively and significantly impacting PS. In the same way, OS is positively and significantly impacting the PS. In the same way or in the same direction, you can see that FS is positively and significantly impacting the PS. While the R square is 89.97, it means that 89.97 variation in the PS is explained by the variation in SGT, OS, and FS, while the model is statistically fit. Then coming towards the indirect effect, you can see the direct effect here. The combined direct effect shows that there is a direct effect of 0.4158, which is statistically significant. You can also see the indirect effect. Here you need to understand what is meant by IND1, IND2, and IND3. It means first indirect impact, it means the second indirect impact, and it means the third indirect impact. So when we need to use the first indirect impact, we need to see the indirect impact between SGT to OS and OS to PS. So in a modular term, SGT to OS and OS to PS. This is SGT to OS and OS to PS. This is the first indirect impact you can see over here. So what is the first indirect impact? First indirect impact is positive, and it is significant, it is statistically significant. And how we can determine the t value, I have told you. If the lower level confidence interval and upper level confidence interval is not indicating any zero between them, or any negative value in both upper or lower range, then it means that it is significant. In the second method for calculating the significance is using the t-value, which you can compute by dividing this 0.1910 as a coefficient value divided by boot SE, that is 0.0305, and I have done this using this method, Excel method. So you can do it yourself. In the same way, you can say that second indirect effect is also showing the positive impact. So what is second indirect effect? Second indirect effect is SDT to FS and FS to PS. So in a modular term, you can see SDT to FS and FS to PS. So this is basically the second indirect impact that you can see here. So we can have a second indirect impact, and we can conclude that this impact is also positive and statistically significant. Uh, while what is the third indirect impact? So what does it mean by third independent or third indirect impact? It is from SDT to OS, from OS to FS, and from FS to PS. So you can see here SDT to OS, then OS to FS, then FS to PS. So when the serial mediation is involved, it becomes the larger in terms of mediation impact. So indirect impact number 3 is basically the serial mediation impact, and it is also significant. So how can we verify that all these are the significant? So we have only one method. Either we need to orally judge from the lower level confidence interval and upper level confidence interval, or we can also compute the t values. Like I can compute the t value of first independent, like I can put it here. I can put the coefficient of the second indirect impact. In the same way, I can put the coefficient value of the third indirect impact over here. Then I need to put their standard errors or bootstrap standard errors like this. This is the standard error of my first indirect relation. Then I have the standard error of my second indirect relationship. Then I have the standard error of my third indirect relationship. So how can we compute it? We simply need to divide this value with this value. So we can calculate the t values. So as these t values are greater than 1.96, it means they are significant. It means what we can conclude? We can conclude the indirect relationship, including simple mediation and including serial mediation, all are significant. So we conclude here that in case of our model, the the first interaction, the first indirect relationship, the second indirect relationship, and the serial mediation relationship, all are significant and all are positive. So this is basically how we can interpret this model. So comes to the next part, which is the second last part in our today's session, is moderated mediation analysis. It is much complex, and it is much required model, and it is basically uh, requested by a lot of students that please convey this, how we can calculate this model and how we can interpret this model. So up till the previous one, if you have any question, you may ask, or we can proceed further. If you have no any question, I can proceed further. So please let me know if you want to know anything else from the previous discussion, or we can proceed further towards our second last part. I think there is no any question from your side, so we can proceed further to our second last part, which is uh, moderated mediation analysis. So what is this? How we analyze the situation, like if we have mediation analysis and we include a moderator in between our relationship like this. So if you can see the graph, the conceptual diagram, you can see that we have a mediator, and mediator is basically mediating the relationship between x and y. And we may have a moderator which is impacting the relationship between x and m, or xm mediator. So moderator mediation analysis is a statistical technique that combines the element of both mediation analysis and moderation analysis. In moderator mediation, the process of mediation is examined and the strength or the nature of mediating effectives explode under different conditions or level of moderating variables. So you need to see how your mediation changes in terms of strength, in terms of direction, when a moderator is involved here. So you are going to change the direction of your mediator in the presence of moderator. So in other words, it investigate whether the mediating effect of a variable on an outcome is contingent on the level of another variable. So what is basically the conceptual underpinning of this model? We basically going to use model number 7 when we have a mediated moderation analysis. So it looks like this, and it would require you to click model number 7 from the Hayes process when you are basically considering a relationship between um, the independent variable and a mediator. So you need to change the direction or strength between your independent variable to your mediator. So that is why it is called mediated moderation. It means first you mediate and then you moderate your analysis. And the statistical diagrammic representation looks like this. You need to analyze the impact of x on m and then m on y, and you will find out a1 as a coefficient between x and m, and you will find out b1 as a coefficient between m and y. Then you will find out the impact of your moderator as a independent variable on m, because this time, because you are basically moderating your mediation, you are not moderating the y. That is why you are basically considering the impact of w on m, and that's why you are also considering the impact, the interaction impact of your independent and your moderating variable on m. So this is how this relationship is developed. You are not considering the moderation and interaction for your dependent variable. You are considering both of these for your mediator. That is why it is called mediated moderation analysis. So let's exemplify, let's understand the purpose of moderated mediation analysis. uh, when you need to apply the conditional process, because at the start of my discussion previously, or yesterday, I have told the audience attending this session that the process by Hayes involves three types of process. The first one is moderation, the second one is mediation, and the third one is conditional process. So whenever you have moderated mediation or mediated moderation, it means you need to apply the conditional process, which is the integration of mediation and moderation. So you need to understand how conditional process basically works. So moderated mediation helps researcher understand whether the strength or direction of the mediating effect varies under different conditions or level of moderating variable. This is valuable for recognizing the nuanced way in which mediation process may operate in different contexts. So you need to understand, if you want to change the strength or direction of your mediation, you are going to use this model. So model number 7 is relevant with this. So identifying condition of mediation, it helps identify the specific conditions under which a mediating effect is more or less pronounced. So we need to highlight whether what are the situations under which your mediation impact may be decreased, or your mediation impact may be increased. So this is crucial for understanding the boundary conditions that influence the mediation process. Next is contextualizing the mediation effect. Moderated mediation allows researcher to contextualize mediation effect within the framework of a moderating variable. This is particularly useful when the impact of mediator on an outcome may be influenced by varying level of another variable. So when we have different levels of measurement in another variables like our moderator, we came to know, we can understand how our mediator works in that situations. So enhancing predictive understanding by considering both mediation and moderation simultaneously, researcher can enhance their predictive understanding of how different variables interact and contribute to the variation in an outcome. So this can lead to more precise prediction and targeted intervention. So this is how this works, and you need to understand different examples also. Consider a study examining the relationship between socioeconomic status like predictor variable on educational achievement as a mediator and job satisfaction outcome variable. This study investigates whether mediating effect of educational attainment on job satisfaction is moderator by the level of career advancement opportunities. So here we can use this moderator between the mediator, because we also have mediator at first. So we want to know uh, how the mediating effect of the above situation can be moderated by the level of career advancement opportunities. So our independent variable would be socioeconomic status, our mediator would be educational attainment, our moderator would be career advancement opportunities, our outcome variable would be job satisfaction. And in this scenario, moderated mediation analysis would explore whether the strength of mediating effect of educational attainment on job satisfaction varies based on different levels of career advancement opportunities. The study aims to understand not only the direct and mediated effect, but also how the mediating effect is contingent on the level of career advancement opportunities. So this is how we can analyze different situations considering the moderated mediation analysis. So we can understand more deeply using example one, technology use and job performance in remote work, where the predictor variable would be technology use. For example, virtual collaboration tools. We may have a mediator like work engagement. We have a moderator level of team communication. We may have a dependent variable that is job performance. So in this scenario, the study investigate whether the mediating effect of work engagement on relationship between technology use and job performance is contingent or moderated on the level of team communication in remote work setting. So this is how you can apply this moderated mediation. We can consider the example number two, like family sport, coping mechanism, and mental health. So we may have a independent variable like family sport. We may have a mediator like coping mechanism, problem solving, emotional regulation. We may have a moderator like stressful life events. We may have an outcome variable like mental health. Here the study explore whether the mediating role of coping mechanism in relationship between family sports and mental health is moderated by the presence of stressful life events. So if stressful life events are there, so how your moderator basically changes in terms of relationship, in terms of direction, for explaining the impact of family sports on mental health. In the same way, you can consider another example like customer feedback, employee satisfaction and service quality, where your IV would be customer feedback, your mediator would be employee satisfaction, your moderator would be workload, which includes high workload versus low workload. Your dependent variable would be service quality. In this scenario, the study examines whether mediating effect of employee satisfaction on the relationship between customer feedback and service quality is moderated by the level of employee workload. So this is how it works. The second last example is example number 4. School leadership, teacher collaboration, and student achievement. Our independent variable would be school leadership style. Our mediator would be teacher collaboration. Our moderator would be school resources, high versus low resources. Outcome variable would be student achievement. Here, the study investigate whether the mediating effect of teacher collaboration on the relationship between school leadership style and student achievement is moderated by the availability of school resources. So you are basically moderating the impact of your mediator in relationship to your independent and dependent variable. And the last one is example number 5, health education program, knowledge acquisition, and health behavior change. You may have independent variable like health education program participation. You may have a mediator like knowledge acquisition. You may have a moderator like health literacy level. You may have outcome variable like health behavior change. In this scenario, the study explore whether the mediating effect of the knowledge acquisition on the relationship between health education program participation and health behavior change is moderated by the level of health literacy. So how much your literacy level as per your health or requiring the health, and how this can change the knowledge acquisition role in mediating the health education program on health behavior change. So this is how you can apply mediated moderation impact. So you need to use the example final data set like model number 7. You may have dependent variable like project success. You may have independent variable like short duration training. You may have mediator like optimized scheduling. You may have a moderator like flexible scheduling. So I am interested to know, is the impact of short duration training on project success is significantly mediated by the optimized scheduling along with the moderator of flexible scheduling. I may have forgot to consider here. So how can you, oh sorry, this is the mediation of the above relationship is moderator, weakens or strengthen by flexible scheduling. So this is how you can apply this process. So here comes our independent variable, our dependent variable, our mediator. So we want to apply the impact of SDT on OS, then OS into PS. Then we want to analyze a moderating impact of FS like flexible scheduling in between the relationship of SDT and OS, because we are basically moderating the impact of our mediating variable. So that is why it is basically the moderate mediated moderation. So you want to find out this type of model. So how can you do it? You need to go to the analyze regression process. You need to put your dependent variable in y variable list. You need to put your x variable as a independent variable. You need to put your mediator. You need to put your moderator. Then you need to go to the option, and before that you need to select model number 7, because this type of model deals with the model number 7. So why we need to select these number? Because if we select a wrong number or the wrong model, it will give some error. So you need to verify the structure of your model through your Hayes process guidelines, the file that I have shared with you like this. You need to verify whether your model is as per the requirement of which model number. So you need to verify before it's we are going to apply. So we are applying the model number 7 as per Hayes process. That's why we need to select model number 7 from here. So we can go to the analyze, we can go to the regression, we can go to the Hayes process. We need to put our independent variable over here. We need to put dependent variable in y variable list, our independent variable in x variable list, we need to put our mediation. So what is our mediating variable? That is OS, and FS is moderator. So OS we need to put as a mediator, OS, and we need to put FS as a moderator here. So mediator is OS and moderator is FS. And we need to check it over here. OS is mediator and FS is moderator. All right. So what we need to do, we need to select model number 7 from here, and we go to the option. As we have involved moderator variable, so we need to change the setting of some parts of our option. So we need to put yes. All right. We go to the option. We select generate code for visualizing interaction. From here we need to select only continuous variable that define product, and we need to select -1 ist. We need to select Johnson's name and output, and we need to select continue. Then we click OK, and the results will be shown up to you within a couple of seconds. So you need to wait for the results to appear over here, and you will find uh, a number of very interesting results regarding our today's sessions. You just need to wait for a couple of seconds. So it has appeared here. You can see the results. I will let you know one by one how you need to interpret these results and how you can apply these results. So first you can see that this is model number 7. Your dependent variable is PS, your independent variable is STT, your mediating variable is OS, your moderating variable is FS. So next is outcome variable. When your outcome variable is OS, you can see here, if you see, your first impact was SDT on OS. So when your independent variable is impacting the OS, the outcome variable becomes the OS. So you can see here that OS is your outcome variable, and you can see here that SGT is impacting positively and it is significant over here. Then you can also see from here that this is the mediation impact, moderation impact. So when there is a moderator in your model, if you can see the basic model or basic formation of statistical diagram, you can see that your moderating variable is also impacting your mediator, and the interaction term is also impacting your mediator. So you can analyze that FS is impacting OS, and the interaction term is also impacting the OS along with SDT. So you can see the results over here that SDT, FS, and interaction terms are here. So there is a positive impact of SDT, which is highly significant on OS. There is a positive impact of FS, which is highly significant on OS, and positive there is a positive impact of interaction term, which is not significant here. You can see. So interaction term is not significant. It means that moderation is not feasible here. The R square is 0.75.59, which means that uh, your OS is 75.59% explained by the variance in STTFS and interaction term. You can also see the R change, which is 0.0008, and it is insignificant change. It means by the inclusion of moderation, your R square does not change very significantly. So this you can say this moderation is not successful over here. You can also see the PS, which is impacted by STT and OS. If we see original model, PS is basically impacted by OS and STT. So these are two of the relationship that are impacting our main dependent variable. So we can see here SDT is positively and significantly impacting the PS. OS is positively and significantly impacting the PS. The R square is 0.8795. It means that 87.95% variation in the dependent variable is due to SDT and OS, and model is statistically significantly fit. Then we comes to the direct and indirect effect. What does it mean by? If you can see that there is a direct effect of SDT and OS on PS, and there is an indirect effect also, which is measured by OS as a mediator. So we need to see how the mediator works over here. You can see that the moderated mediation is here, and you can find out there is a negative value. You can see over here there is a negative value of LLCI, low level of confidence interval. There is a negative value. I have told you that whenever there is a zero between both level, or there is a negative value between any of these level, it means your impact is not significant. So here the moderated mediation is not significant for the whole model, and it is also proved here in case of our first impact. You can see over here the interaction term was positive, but it was not significant. So it was also proved from here that your index of moderated mediation is showing that your index is not basically significant, and you can verify by its t value. How can you compute the t value? You just need to copy this index value in your Excel sheet like this. You need to copy your bootstrap standard error from here like this. You need to divide your index value with your standard error, and you can find your t value, which is less than 1.96. Your t value should be greater than 1.96, so it is less than. It is, you can conclude it is weakly significant, or it is significant not at all. So here we can conclude that it is not significant. So moderated mediation is not significant over here, while the indirect effect, if we can see